and stars that they interact with, and the consciousness of the different beings that live on the stars. You go deeper and you connect. This is all in the depth of peace. This is where all that interaction's happening, in the depth of peace. You can access deeper into the Pleiades and the star systems in Orion. You go deeper right to the depth of the subconscious, and you'll find an interaction right at the core of the Milky Way galaxy. God of this Milky Way galaxy, Creator, as the Milky Way galaxy is the cell in one cell in the body of God. You go deeper and you see all the galaxies as all part of the Creator, all little points of light, tiny little points of light, tiny little points of light. Each galaxy is a tiny, we're sitting over here thinking this world is so large and what goes on Earth is so large and so important and so vital. We're thinking over here what goes on in our day-to-day lives is so vital and important. All the things we go through, but really, in a sense, it's so surfacey. It's so minuscule in comparison to the depth of consciousness of God, very God itself. Where galaxies and galaxies by the billions make up God. Not just a few galaxies, but billions upon billions of galaxies. They're all God. They're all the Creator. They're all light. It's all light. God itself, the Creator itself, is light. We can comprehend these things and discuss these things with our mind and heart and speak about these things. But beyond even discussing, it is coming into a full awareness of the truth of what this means for you, what this means for our civilization, what this means for the changes here on Earth. You think if God exists, which is made up of billions upon billions of galaxies, we know how big the galaxy is. You think that God has power over here? Of course. Throughout all the galaxies, throughout all of time, before time even existed, it's all part of the Creator. It's all part of the Holy Spirit that moves through everything. And then there's the galaxy of you. You are a galaxy by yourself. You are a God being by itself, given life, given consciousness by the Supreme One, the Lord of all, the Creator of all. For you to do something, establish dominion in your own body and mind and heart while you're alive. And do something about those subconscious tendencies and the subconscious fears and the subconscious thoughts and all the vagrant ideas that come from a state of separation. Bring it all back to an awareness of one thing, standing on the sea of glass mingled in fire. Because the fire is the galaxies and galaxies and galaxies of fire of God. Galaxies and galaxies and galaxies. Coming through, funnily enough, your subconscious. Luckily, it's not coming through at that force. The galaxies of the cells of the Creator as revealed in a galaxy, that force isn't coming through you. Not coming through me. It's differentiated. It's brought smaller and smaller. So there's, out of the whole galaxy, there's a few volts coming through you, coming through me. A few tiny volts of energy, of life force, for 410 and 100, 120 years, whatever. Yeah, there's a little bit of life force, but the Creator has so much life force that the Creator can give galaxies and by the billions life. It's a lot of life force. Wow. Wow. And the Creator gives you and me life force. The whole of all galaxies, the whole of every part of creation sings of the grandeur of God. Can you feel it? Really? Wow. Phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal. How have people missed this? I don't understand how people miss it. I don't understand how people believe in God, but miss going to the depth of the awareness. Wow. And for those who are drawn out of the world pattern, yeah, be aware of the world pattern, be aware of all the things that are going on, but come into an awareness of the truth. God is, the Creator is, wow, just the most phenomenal thing that's going on in all of creation. Simultaneously through all of eternity, there's not one moment from the beginning of the creation of eternity to the end of all eternities that the Creator's done. So where are you in all of it? When those little feelings come up, little tendencies in mind and heart, and people don't want to gain control of those tendencies, because it's easier to be in the tendencies of fear and shame and guilt than to go deeper, to want to meet the Creator. The joy in the heart has to be the thing that you want more than anything else, has to be only one thing. I want, as Francis Horn said, I want one thing. As the promise was given, even, however the words came through, whatever, of saying, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And God is made up, the Creator is made up of galaxies. Wow. Just the most amazing thing. And those galaxies are just as much part of your cells, part of your makeup, part of everybody. All 6.9 billion people here on Earth. Look at your body. You look at the cell, one cell. Pick any cell in your body. Doesn't matter which cell it is. Pick any cell, look at it under a microscope at the most powerful magnification, and what do they see? It's all light. It's all light. It's all the Creator, from the biggest thing to the tiniest thing. The whole range, from the macrocosm to the microcosm, it's all the Creator. You and I, we have the privilege of being able to comprehend these ideas as a beginning. These ideas are just brought as a thing to remind you of the depth and breadth and scope of the Creator. Just to give a slight little bit of a hint. That's all I can do, is give you a slight, tiny little bit of visual idea, of a hint of the magnificence of the Creator. And how the Creator can work through you. The means whereby that can occur through you. The job that we're given, the opportunity to allow God to have a home here in our physical forms. We'll build a temple at some point for this, to honor the grandeur of the Creator. We will build it. We won't call it anything. We don't need to name it. We don't need to title it. We're going to build a temple of light for honoring the light. But let's start by building these forms into temples of light. Our bodies, our minds and hearts. Let's never forget for an instant when those instants come up when you feel so small. Yeah? Does anyone ever get to that point? Oh, I feel so small, or I feel so alone, or I feel so whatever. Just is the most pointless thing, feeling small or separate or alone. What does alone mean? It's just a ridiculous idea. You couldn't be alone if you tried. There's nothing that could be alone if it tried. See, alone is just a word, but it's a mixed up word. The truth of the word alone is it's all one. It's all one. Everything that is, that ever was, that ever will be, is all one. It's all the greater. As a result, God is with you, without a shadow of doubt. You're in the tiniest, smallest place of atom in you. It's all one. That atom is one. You can't take that atom off and throw it away because it's still part of the Creator. You know, how many atoms do you discard? You could discard atoms all you want all day long by the millions and billions. They're all still part of the Creator. As science and Einstein and all prove, energy doesn't change. You can't destroy energy, it just changes form. It's all energy. It's to even start to comprehend this, that there's a depth of knowing this that you can access if you want. You can access the depth of knowing this completely. But it takes a little bit of fortitude. It takes a little bit of work. Comparatively speaking, it's a little bit. You have to penetrate through the depth of the subconscious. For some people, this is too hard. Oh, it's too hard. I feel uncomfortable. Well, if it was about feeling comfortable, then all these chairs would be filled up like all the churches and all that. Everybody goes there and feels comfortable. They pay their 10% and, you know, they've done their holy deed for the week, and now they can go back and do whatever the heck they want. No. It's an all-day, 24-hour day, 7-day a week, 365 days. It's your lifetime job. If you want to stay in this, if you want to access this, it's a moment by moment by moment for all the moments. There's no moment that you can suddenly say, oh, I think I'm going to duck out and just ignore the moment. God's not here in this moment. The Creator's not here. Can't get away from even the smallest moment in time. If you choose, you can be in this place. You can be in the place of knowing every single moment